Republicans make a big show of being the party of faith, freedom, and family, but we all know they'd sell their own mother for a handshake from Donald Trump.
They don't have any identifiable set of policy solutions for the problems facing the American people. Their party continues to hit all-time historic lows in poll after poll after poll, and many of you have reported on that. These are objective facts. They're utterly lost as a party, and everybody can see it. So what are they doing? They see a shiny object, and they latch onto it. Democrats did not say one word about the Epstein files for the entire Biden presidency. They had all the files in the Biden DOJ. They didn't say a word about it. 4 years, not a word. And suddenly now, they somehow convince themselves that the Epstein files will be damaging to President Trump and Republicans in some way that they've imagined. And so they feign outrage.
When are you going to swear in Representative-elect Iadarola?
As soon as we get back to legislative session, when Chuck Schumer allows us to turn the lights back on.
Why haven't you done it already?
Because this is the way the institution works. I'm following the Pelosi precedent, by the way, when my dear friend from Louisiana, Julia Letlow, was elected to fill the seat of her deceased husband because of COVID. Nancy Pelosi took 25 days to swear her in. By the way,
are you saying? Let me stop you. Are you saying that Nancy Pelosi refused to swear her in earlier?
No, I'm saying that's my very point. Is this is the normal
my understanding is that was the date that actually the representative-elect Letlow at the time requested. She had obviously her.
Okay, here's some more examples. Okay.
No, but wait a minute. You mentioned the Pelosi precedent, but Pelosi didn't delay that.
Let me give you more of the Pelosi precedent. Okay.
And what about the Johnson precedent? Because you swore in 2 Republicans the day after their election.
I'm happy to answer. Pelosi precedent. Pat Ryan, Joe Simpolinski. They were elected during an August recess. So 21 days later, when the House returned to regular legislative session, they were administered the oath. That's what we're doing. We're not in session right now. Rep. Grijalva was elected after the House was out of session. As soon as we return to legislative session, as soon as the Democrats decide to turn the lights back on so we can all get back here, I will administer the oath on the first day.
You could swear her in tomorrow, right?
No, not tomorrow. No, we couldn't. We wouldn't. There was an exception for 2 Floridians earlier in this Congress, but the reason was they were duly elected, they had a date set, they flew in all their friends and family, and the House went out of session.
So if she flies in friends and family, then
we don't have a date set. She was elected after.
Okay.
Look at this. Every Republican and Democrat should be in D.C. right now working. Most of all, Moses Mike Johnson, who is this big Christian. If he's a big Christian, he should be teeing up, fighting for health care, fighting for the marginalized, fighting for the poor. But instead, he weaponizes his faith to lure voters in and then dicks them over every chance he can get. And that's what people are so sick of. If I make a list of the most worthless Americans, it's this guy. The most worthless Christian, it's this guy. The most worthless husband, it's this guy. This guy is good for absolutely nothing except for unapologetically glazing a demented, convicted felon criminal who is so immoral and so depraved, yet Moses Mike Grinder Johnson gets out there and does it with glee all day, every day. Play the clip.
I mean, this president has not only reduced taxes, as we said, we've cut fraud, waste, and abuse out of government. He solved the border crisis. He's solving the crime crisis. Oh, that's right. He's also resolving wars around the world, but he still takes time. That's right.
All right, stop right there and freeze it. Look at all those crusty white people, white men behind him. And the fact that everybody allows this embarrassing, cringy flattery at all times, this is a part of identifying what psychologists use to identify people that have personality disorders. Do you fall prey to superficial flattery? And every single time, Donald Trump falls prey to it.
Christian content creator April LaJoy was raised in a Christian nationalist family and now warns of its dangers, so she knows more than most the sort of mental gymnastics Speaker Mike Johnson is performing.
I'm a MAGA Christian, and when you play clips to show that someone I like is racist, I'm gonna say, you're taking that out of context. But then when you show me the context that prove he was racist, I'm just gonna say, well, if that's racist, then I'm racist. And you might think I'm getting really close to getting the point, but I'm still gonna miss it. I'm a MAGA Christian. And even though Trump can't name his favorite verse and says he's never asked God for forgiveness and says he's not going to heaven, those will be the only things I don't believe him on. Because he is a Christian hero, no matter what he says. I'm a MAGA Christian. And if you unfollow me for promoting someone who hates women and gays, I'm going to assume that it's only because you hate God, because I'm only standing up for my faith. I'm a MAGA Christian, and Christian persecution is everywhere. Just look at all the gay characters on Netflix and all the people that still say happy holidays. But ICE shooting Christian ministers in the head doesn't count because they're actually extreme radical Antifa, and they're only pretending to pray and be Christ-like. I'm a MAGA Christian, and I'm against trans people because they want to change the body that God gave them. But me getting a boob job and bleaching my hair every month and injecting my face with toxins is different. I'm a MAGA Christian, and how dare you call us fascist? And to prove we're not, we're gonna go after everyone that calls themselves anti-fascist, and we're gonna get even more fascist in the process. So take that.
So I posted this on Twitter, a photo of my mom and I at No Kings, two former Republicans who now stand against MAGA and Christian nationalism because it goes against the teachings of Jesus, which I stand by. But the comments over there are unhinged. I'm going to read them, but before I do, you need to know that my mother was a pastor's wife until my dad died of cancer. She's a widow. You'll see why I'm saying that in a second. Two single angry women. One couldn't keep a man, the other can't get a man. What's missing in this photo? A father, maybe? You look like a bunch of dumb sluts that watch PBS all day. How about no redheads in Kentucky? More like April No Joy, am I right? Jesus was crucified because of a No Kings rally. Please take women's right to vote away. Anyone surprised? No dad. Mom has no wedding ring. This checks out. Just say you love Santan. I don't know. I'm probably taking Trump over Jesus then, LOL. We know. I don't serve Trump. He serves America! Newsflash! God put him there. Translation, her mother, a gold digger, left her conservative father for a wealthy, eccentric liberal. Now with their new stepdad's fortune, they view the Democrat Party favorably. Neither knows Christ. Both serve demon spirits masquerading as the Christ. A king would literally behead you and your mom, idiots. Yes, we are called to love thy neighbor. It does not say we need to forget what makes someone a legal neighbor! Thank you, lesbians, for stand Donald Trump. Boo! Whiny baby Democrats, your terrorist tantrums push people away from your trash ideology. Yeah, this is definitely a terrorist tantrum.
Speaker Johnson has a history of anti-gay rhetoric. You have unearthed much of this, supporting anti-gay policies, very clearly doing so, and you found out more about his personal views.
Yeah, that's right. Homosexuality was something that Johnson talked about a lot over the years in what we reviewed. He called it inherently unnatural. He said it was a dangerous lifestyle. We found a clip where he supported a ban on gay adoptions, where he said that homosexuality was a behavior, and because of that, it wasn't protected from anti-discrimination laws. And that sort of goes into this next clip that I want to play, which is him discussing what he thinks the proper role of government is. Listen to what he said here.
One of the primary purposes of the law in civil government is to restrain evil. We have to acknowledge collectively that man is inherently evil and needs to be restrained. That's the problem with the radical left. They don't acknowledge a God.
So we also found Johnson saying that he supported imprisoning abortion doctors, the elimination of hate crimes. He backed a Louisiana abortion ban that did not have exceptions for rape or incest. So when he's talking about restraining evil, this is the sort of thing that he means.
Mike Johnson seems to think he can lie his way out of any situation and just deflect attention away from what is really going on by blaming the Democrats. But at this point, the act is wearing thin, and even some Republican representatives in battleground states are starting to raise the alarm that voters aren't buying what he's selling anymore. And Medicaid, by the way, isn't the only front the Republicans are fighting on. They're also keen to keep the government shut down to give Mike Johnson his incredibly thin excuse to refuse to swear in Arizona Representative-elect Adelita Grijalva, who, when she gets sworn in, will be the 218th signature necessary to force a vote on releasing the Epstein files. She, by the way, won her seat over a month ago, and Mike Johnson keeps coming up with more elaborate stories to deflect from the real and, at this point, very obvious reason that he hasn't sworn her in yet. And now other people are getting involved. Arizona Attorney General Chris Mays is taking matters into her own hands and forcing his hand by filing a lawsuit. AG Mays filed the lawsuit on behalf of the 813,000 residents living in Arizona's 7th District who are currently without any congressional representation.